God bless you, ma'am. I am Ashish Suday Puaven. I am first year college student taking a Bachelor of Science in Accountancy. And now, I will tackling about the customs of the Tagalog by Juan de Plasencia. But before that, let me first give the background of the author. Juan de Plasencia was a Spanish friar of the Franciscan order. He was born in the 16th century to the illustrious family of the Protocarreros in Plasencia in the region of Extremadura, Madura, Spain. He was one of the 7 children of Pedro Portocarrero, a captain of a Spanish schooner, and said to have been inspired to be a Franciscan because of his upbringing spent during a spiritual and religious resurgence affected by Spain's Siglo de Oro. He came with the first batch of Franciscan missionaries in the Philippines in 1577. His real name is Juan de Puerto Carrero del Convento de Villanueva de la Serena. He started preaching in Laguna de Bay and Quezon areas as early as 2 months upon arrival in Manila. Elected as the custos of the friars in May 23, 1584 and held it until 1588. He passed away in Lilo, Laguna in the year 1590. Juan de Plasencia converted natives, taught catechisms, and organized towns and barangays in the Philippines, and one of his work is the customs of the Tagalog. Customs of the Tagalogs by Juan de Plasencia. Okay, so now let's talk about the social classes in the customs of the Tagalog. So we have chieftain or the dato, and then we have nobles or maharlika. Next is the commoners or the aliping namamahay. And last we have the slaves or aliping sagigilar. So when we say dato, it means that the chief or a captain of wars or whom governed, obeyed, and reverence. So that is what we call dato. Unlike today, we don't use the term dato, but we directly say as chief or captain, right? Yes. And about nobles or maharlika, it talks about freeborn. They don't pay taxes. So the nobles or maharlika, they don't pay taxes. So how about the commoners? So the commoners or aliping namamahay, they live in their own houses and lords of their property. And how about the slaves? So the slaves or aliping sa giggler, so they serve their master in his house and his cultivated lands and can be sold. So that is slaves. Alright, so now let us also find out their houses. So based from the module, their houses are made of wood, bamboo, and nipa palm. So how about today? So when we talk about today, we have concrete houses or made with stone and cement or sand or gravels, right? Yes. So how about their government? Okay, so before in Tagalog, their unit government is called barangay, ruled by a chieftain and consists of 30 to 100 families together with their relatives and slaves. Unlike today, yes, we have barangays. We have this called barangay, and then we have a barangay consists of not just 30 to 100 families, but it is also can consist 100 plus. Under administration of justice, the chieftain's executive function includes implementing laws, ensuring order, and giving protection to his subject, and disputes between individuals were settled by a court made up of the chieftain and council of elders. So, their inheritance, the first son of the barangay chieftain inherits his father's position. If the first son dies, the second son succeeds their father. In the absence of male heirs, it is the eldest daughter that becomes the chieftain. Okay, so now let's talk about the slaves. Slaves, it is a person becomes slave by first we have the captivity in war, second by reason of death, and by inheritance by purchase, and also by committing a crime. So a person becomes a slave by that reason. And slaves can be emancipated or freed through by forgiveness, by paying debt, by condonation, by bravery where the slave can possibly become a dato, or by marriage. They will be emancipated or freed. Okay. So now let's talk about their beliefs. So they worship many gods and goddesses, and they also believes in sacred animals and trees. Okay, so they have their superstitious beliefs where they believe in aswang, duwende, kapritik, balang, and tiyanak. So they also believe in magical power of amulets and charms such as anting-anting, kulam, and gayuma or love potion. And now let's talk about their mode of dressing. So in male, they wore headgear, and that is called potong, which symbolizes the number of persons the wearer had killed. So they also wore a jacket in upper with short sleeves that is called kangan, and in the lower part that is called bahag. So and we are familiar with it, right? Bahag. Okay, so now about their female. So in an upper portion they wore baro or kamisa, and in lower they have saya. So unlike when we're going to compare today's costumes and tradition, based on my observation, so most of our costumes now are based on what are trends, right? And let us say for example the upper part for girls. Especially the new generation wear an spaghetti shirts, off-shoulder blouses, or shall I say sexy dress. And also in lower they were cuttered jeans and fitting pants and others. And when they wear a skirt, then it's sexy skirt, which is above the knee. Unlike before, they wore long skirts. So now, therefore, there is really a big difference between Tagalog's customs and today's customs and traditions. Thank you, ma'am, and God bless, and stay safe.